what am I doing? What am I doing? It was 2 months before my journey, and I thought, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay here. And
It's very, very the feelings, you know. And I remember because we sold all the big stuff first, and then 1 month before, like, starting the trip, we did a big bazaar. We opened our house with what left,
Me too.
and we put like price tags and everything.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world. This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
Before we continue my American road trip, I've got an extra episode for you that I hope you'll find just as interesting as I found making it. Because sometimes I run into some interesting people that I just have to talk to and share with you. This happened when I was attending the Travis Conference in Rotterdam recently. It's an event for travel bloggers, and here I met Natalie and Robson from Brazil. They're traveling around the world full-time, like me, and they document their journey on their blog, loveandroad.com. Nat and Rob are smiling, outgoing people with an interesting story, so I pulled them aside for a chat.
As I said, I'm Natalie. I'm a Brazilian journalist. I have been traveling for the past 4 years. I used to have like a normal life, living in Brazil, working, and a passion for traveling. And then I met him, Rob, him.
Let the listeners know that she's pointing at Rob.
Yeah, and we discovered that we both love to travel, and then we decided what we can do to make this happen. So we switched our lives like upside down. We sold everything. We created Love and Road, our blog, because we thought that would be like an easy way to make money. We were so naive in that time. And then we hit the road.
Yeah. So your blog is called loveandroad.com.
.com.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you can read it in Portuguese and in English. Some advertising.
So in that way, a lot like me, I do mine in I do podcasting, but it's in Danish and in English. So I have two different versions as well, and I sold everything as well. And obviously, you're a lot younger than me.
Not really. No.
She might be. I might be closer.
People cannot see, but Rob has gray hair. Should have said that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
they can picture.
But extremely handsome, and you still have your hair.
It's funny because back in home, my brother that is bald since he's young, since his 20s, and I'm the gray hair since I'm in 20s. So,
So how long time have you been on the road?
yeah, 4 years. 4 years full time, changing places all the time. In the past, in the first 2 years, it was like every 3 or 4 days in a new place, and by the second year we burn out.
Yeah, that was a long time to do that. The way I did it was also in the beginning, the first 9 or 10 countries, it was 4 or 5 days.
Like we want to see the most.
Exactly. But then I needed to slow down, so I spent 10 days in Belgrade and 2 weeks in Budapest, and then I got the energy to travel a little bit fast again, and then I take a longer break. So I go up and down in speed.
Yeah, I think you start kind of adapting yourself, adapting your energy, and also depends on the work. Because the more you move, you collect a lot of material, but it's hard to produce the content.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, it was in my first week I went to a TBX in Stockholm and met Nomadic Matt. He was just on stage half an hour ago, and he said to me, you don't go to India to sit behind the computer all the time. You need to slow down, and so you can have time to do your work and then have time to see things, because when you get to a place, you want to see some stuff as well. So you make time for that. So that also sets the speed on which I travel.
Yeah. I would say like we're still nomadics, but we kind of have a base in one place. From there we travel. For last time we spent 6 months in Thailand. We used Bangkok as a base, but from Bangkok we could leave all our stuff, just a suitcase. A weekend, 3 or 4 days on a place and back.
Exactly, yeah.
And with no computers, we were in the place, kind of enjoying the area, and then later we could write or.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the whole process of taking the decision and selling everything, or did you sell everything? Do you have anything in storage?
We sold almost everything. We do have a few boxes that in
4 or 6 boxes.
yeah, in his family's house, that it's like very sentimental stuff, like some books we bought in a previous trips, or like presents or
Photos.
gifts that we got it, but documents, but like furniture, clothes, all the electronic stuff. The car, we sold everything. We only kept our house that it's rented, that it would help us to start this project of traveling. We had like this income coming, although it's not much money because it's Brazilian currency, but every little helps. And then it was very interesting because it was actually a process. It started in a way that we were like, okay, we're gonna first sell things that we don't use anymore and just keep what we need for our next months of living in Brazil. And then suddenly we saw our bank account growing, and then we used to have feelings for our stuff. You know, oh, I love this dress. Oh, this TV or this book, and blah, blah.
All my bikes.
Oh, yeah, he does triathlon, so he used to have 3 bikes at home for competition. And but once you see the money coming in, and more important, you see people happy for buying your stuff, because that's I start of a new story.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
And
oh
we
well.
create kind of our slogan. We are giving up for something big, for something bigger.
Yeah.
Because then we start thinking like, okay, in a couple of months, I won't be here anymore. We were like kind of starting our dream.
Yeah.
And in certain ways was kind of funny and interesting, because in our living room, and then we have, let's say, the TV, the sofa, chairs, and then 2 weeks later we were sitting on the floor, but we still have the TV on the rack, and then later it was just the TV on the floor.
And it's like, I want
I
a
can-
coffee, but we don't have coffee machine
No,
anymore.
I can tell you about my process, because I kept my books and my vinyl records. That's in a room somewhere in
Precious.
Denmark. But when I was in the process of selling I sold my house, and then I started selling all my furniture, and in my living room, as you said, it got more and more echo. So because stuff was going out, then goes the shelves, that goes the couch, and at that point I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? It was 2 months before my journey, and I thought, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay here. And it's
It's very, very the feelings, you know. And I remember because we sold all the big stuff first, and then 1 month before, like starting the trip, we did a big bazaar. We opened our house with what
Me
left,
too. Me too.
and we put like price tags and
Me
everything.
too. And people come and say, oh, okay, I see you have the price tag here, but I only want to give this much. And I say,
then-
oh, okay.
And that was the weekend, was Saturday and Sunday of bazaar, and then in the Monday morning, Rob needs to go to work because he worked to the end.
Still-
Yeah. And then he looked at me and was like, Natalie, I don't have shoes. I have to work with like my suit with my runners because I sold all the shoes.
That was a good problem.
You're listening to the Radio Vagabond podcast. Before we continue, I'd like to remind you that I would be so thrilled if you shared it on Facebook or Twitter. And now, back to the show.
So we went up like selling everything, every little
We
house.
didn't touch in one point the trigger for that. Just coming back in time, between 2007 and 2009, we lived in Dublin. It was our first time living together, first time living abroad, and it was the golden age of Ryanair. And then almost every weekend we were flying somewhere in Europe, like 5 euros, 2 euros, 10 euros, and we make the most of it. We didn't went to Dublin for kind of work and save money. We went there for study and to see Europe. It was our first opportunity. And that time we have the click that we love travel. We need to come back to Brazil, have some problems with the family, and then fast forward 4 years, we got married. We have like built a beautiful house, good jobs. The life was perfect. Went to our honeymoon. We came to Turkey, Ukraine, and visit friends in Dublin. A month after the honeymoon, I looked to her. We need to talk. She thought it was divorce.
I felt like, oh my God, he took me 7 years to propose me, and then when we finally get married, he wanted to have a serious talk, like.
And the life
going
was
on?
perfect. It was missing.
It's when you get that, hey, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what was the talk?
Something was wrong. Not wrong, but something was missing. Like what we just had now, traveling again, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I can have a nice job, I was earning good money, our house is beautiful the way we want, but that kind of the new, the discovering that travel brings you, we're missing.
That was the problem, because we were having a really good life, but then we went for our honeymoon, and then we're like, okay, we have everything most of people wanted, but being on the road in the honeymoon, that was 28 days, I think, traveling, that brings the best of us, you know. We don't need actually all the material stuff we have at home. What we need is the adventure.
And then, so practical stuff, what can we do to keep traveling? She has a background in journalism. My background is foreign trade. I always work for big corporations, nothing to do with travel.
No.
And start searching internet. We found Dalen and Pizza Hack from Hack Travels. And then Nomadic Matt, Rotterdam. We found a few travelers like, oh, that's possible.
Yeah.
But we have no idea,
No.
let's say, how hard and what happens on the backstage, on the background of a blog, podcast, you know, all the, I would say the hard work.
Yeah.
But then we set up a plan. Many months we start traveling, have the blog.
Yeah, but tell me about your life today. How do you fund it? Do you make money of the blog enough to keep traveling, or do you have some kind of nomadic job?
We did kind of savings enough for 1 year almost a half of savings, following the math advice, like $50 a day per person. So that was our plan.
Yeah, Nomadic Matt wrote a book, bestseller book called.
How to travel $50 a day, and
it travel the world with $50 a day.
And it's very good. I do recommend.
Oh, I have it already.
Yeah,
so,
because if
one of the books I bought before my journey.
Yeah, because it gives you a sense of budgeting. Even if you have it doesn't mean that you need to travel on a budget, but it gives you a good sense of how to organize your travel budget, and it really helps.
Practical tips, And then we discovered, like, okay, we must make the blog work. We must turn this in a source of income. We had our house rented, but during our journey, the house became empty a couple of times because people come, people go. We have the fluctuation of the exchange currency. Now it's terrible.
So, like
now, no, it was 2 years. In about 2 years, the blog start paying our bills.
That's good.
In 6 months, I still remember in Chiang Mai, we were in a co-working space, and I jumped like my table.
Which co-working space?
Maya Mall.
Oh, it's nice up there
Yeah.
with the movie theater
AIS,
just beside. So yeah.
I just said, we did our first sale. Someone booked it on Agoda and we got $60. Yeah, let's go out tonight.
And then we earned $6.
No, 60 cents.
60 cents, sorry. And I think we drank like $10 of beer just to celebrate it. But that shows us that it was possible. With 6 months of effort, we make our first sale. And I don't like to romanticize or to say that it's easy. No.
Oh, it's hard work.
Any blogging or any other type of remote job, you need to be very organized. You need to study a lot of commitment. So, but it's possible, and it's really nice to see the curve of the amount of things you learn, the learning curve, and then also like the curve of earnings that also increase during the year. It's possible, it is, but you need to be very determined, I think. Yeah.
And you mentioned the source, a part of the blog, but because of the blog, we also start social media management and consultancy service. So we have clients in Malaysia and Thailand, mostly Malaysia and Thailand, that we take care of all of their social medias. Okay. So this is an extra source of income that we can do from any place in the world with Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But for you as a journalist, are you writing articles that you're selling to publications, or is it just for the blog?
Mostly for the blog. In the beginning, when we need to grow our name and our brand, I did wrote a lot of things for free. I won't lie, for other websites and for Brazilian magazines. We still have a partnership with a magazine in Brazil that mostly write about romantic destinations. This is a wedding magazine. So we do write, Rob nowadays, he sells his photos and some footage. So on the way, we discover many ways to make money. So it's not just like, okay, I just get my income from that stream. No, we have multiple streams, and I think that's the key of success. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be multitask when you work by yourself on the road, and think in different ways that, there I get $10, there I get 100, and then I get a 50, and altogether pay the bills.
I haven't been to Brazil yet, but I booked the nomadic cruise from Barcelona to Brazil, so I'm going to Brazil later. Will I see you on the boat?
Maybe. We're still considering.
Yeah.
The problem is with the dates, because right now the exact plan, we should be in Brazil by October already. So it'll be a bit late, but we're checking.
That's the
We
beauty.
like the idea.
Yeah.
We like the
and
idea.
that's the beauty of living on the road, to be able to change your plans and move your route and your destination accordingly with people you met on the road, opportunities of work, even like sometimes we meet someone from a different country who's like, I never thought about going there, but that person make it sound so interesting. Then now let's do it.
Go.
So that's the beauty of being flexible and work remotely.
So when people go to your blog, and let me just say that I'll put a link in the show note and on the website for it. What can we expect when we get there? Where is it? Travel tips, or is it your personal journey, or what's it like?
We are not like personality bloggers, so Love and Road is not actually about Natalie and Rob as person or as a couple. We do share a lot of our personal experience and tips, but in a way that I want people to, our experience is in a way to show them how to experience a new destination in a better way. So as a journalist, I write a lot. So people, sorry, my articles are huge. And because Rob really likes photography, so my article is huge and with a lot of images. But the idea behind Love and Road is to help people to travel more and better. So when you get my article, for example, let's say the one I'm going to write about Rotterdam here, it's best place to visit, place that you must go, but also amazing little place and hidden gems and spots that we discovered.
That's a nice one. Yeah,
so that's when
list.
Rob and Natalie goes in the article. It's not just the general travel tips, but a twist how we think people should look the city in a different way or do different things. So it's always a mix of personal experience with travel tips.
Well, I'm so glad I met you, and I'm sure that we will meet again somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe on the cruise ship. But other than that, I'll absolutely look you up when I get to Brazil.
Thank you very much
for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
See you on the road.
This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels and guest houses and hostels around the world in one simple search. Hotels25.com. It's best price guaranteed.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe in iTunes or the podcast app on your smartphone. You can see pictures, watch videos, and read much more on theradiovagabond.com. Pale can be reached for interviews and public speaking gigs on mail at theradiovagabond.com.